Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep this real quick. We're going to cover two stocks, and I want to highlight the importance of journaling. You guys see my videos, and those are basically journals. They're like video journals of sorts. You get to see my thought process. Obviously, it's not very in-depth. It's very quick, and I just kind of cover general ideas. But TNE is a trade that basically replicated what happened on XRO, and I did a video on this over the weekend. So it was only a couple of days ago that I made a video about this sell down on XRO on Thursday last week. So the idea was very similar. Both stocks are software as a service, and there is currently a SaaSpocalypse, as you can see from this enormous sell down, which is also happening or happened on TNE. Now TNE had a bit more of a recovery. So in my mind, a positive news, financial news, whatever, would potentially get hammered down more than XRO because this was recovered more. So that was kind of the idea. And yeah, based on XRO, I was like, okay, these two are in the same sector. They're releasing the same type of announcement. The idea for me was to prepare to pull the trigger on the short as soon as I saw any weakness whatsoever. So this opened, and I don't know how many seconds this candle was because it did open at 9:59. Maybe it was 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. Had okay volume in it. The moment it wicked below that candle, I just click execute short. And then it wicked down way harder than I expected on the first candle, basically. So I do recall it defended 28.50 for quite some time, maybe like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I don't know why that was the case. Maybe, I guess, just the closing price yesterday or something like that. Basically a gap fill someone was trying to defend. And it was just an easy short. It was just like, okay, it's puked it. It didn't quite do the gap up that XRO did. I think this is plus 3% at the top. XRO was plus 5% from memory. And this didn't sell down as much. It was, like -7. I think XRO was about -12. But still, the idea was there. The execution was there. No hesitation. Just add on, spot the weakness in the book, hammer it down, and cover. If it shoots like 2880 or something, has a huge like dragonfly doji or something, I'd be getting the fuck out of there. But it panned out quite well. Broke down. Did a little bounce. Broke down again. And then it hit 27. Now, 27 I saw had quite a bit of liquidity on the book, quite a lot of orders. It might not have been too much. I mean, you got to keep in mind that the order book would have been like 50 shares, 100 shares, something like that. And then all of a sudden there's like 10,000 shares, 15,000 or whatever it was, $27 on the bid. Don't take my word for it. I don't remember the exact number. But the moment I spotted it, fortunately I didn't cover straight away. The preparation I don't think was quite there. I started bouncing, so I covered on this candle for the most part. And not everything, just most of it, and then caught the short here at VWAP. And as always with stocks, with larger denomination, it's always going to be a few cents a wick above VWAP, which is perfectly fine. And then it rolls over. Huge, sharp rollover. Now with something like this, I don't want to see an immediate recovery. You just don't want to see a defense of that with good volumes. And it didn't even get to 27. It was 27.15. So it's like, okay, there's a lot of defense at 27, and now we're suddenly, after a high volume puke, we're defending at 27.15, and it's just like, okay, we're not even getting close to that 27 level anymore. Bounce, sell down, and the moment this was starting to go green, I was like, that's my exit. I probably could have got out. Nah, in hindsight, I don't think so. I got out in this candle, which I'm perfectly fine with. Just everything. Cut. Yeah, so after this, and whatever this was, some strong defense at the lows, I didn't want VWAP. Didn't want it. 28 was a level. Didn't take it. Did take this 28 though. Just a little bit. I don't recall how much it was barn me money. Like I wasn't making any substantial trade. It was just kind of like a starter at 28. There was nowhere to really add on. Nothing really happened. It was just sideways. And then I think it covered once it started popping back to the up. side. So you could just effectively call it break even at that point. Now, sideways, sideways, sideways. This felt like a dump consolidate, so I was expecting a short, but I did see this. And you guys know me, I'm not an intraday trendline guy. It doesn't really do much for me. So I did end up taking this long, just a starter. The plan was the break of 28. 28 was really the key level. If 28 broke after a setup like this, then it'd be a reversal for most of the day, I think. It would just be such a strong recovery. A slow but consistent recovery, I should say. Didn't work out. Again, it was just a starter, nothing crazy, maybe like 15% of what I probably would have ended up putting on. That was kind of the plan, just to get my feet wet. And then cut it the moment it puked. You know, it came with volume right through VWAP. It's like, okay, leave it alone, it's done for the day. Like, I don't care what happens here. Yeah, I was expecting more chop, and that's exactly what we ended up with. So I'm really happy that I applied lessons learned and experience from XRO translated directly into TNE. I think that's a very sector-specific thing that we've seen. Again, if there's another SaaS company that's out there that's bringing out financials, I'll be prepared to do something similar. I'll not front side though. I will not short at this point in time. I won't be shorting when it's green. I will be shorting when it pukes though. So I don't want to fight the trend and, you know, fight some sensational financial report, because God knows where financial report goes when it arrives. Didn't have the preparation, unfortunately. The one thing I didn't do is look for key level of places to defend, which, as you can see here on the daily, it just really likes to hold these low 27s. The other thing I just didn't really take into consideration is just how much this sold off as a percentage. Like, I didn't have time to register because I was so busy trading, watching the book. I didn't register that was basically like an 8% move, which is monstrous. I think I would have prepared better for covering. You know, I probably would have saved myself maybe an extra 20-30 cents on this trade, which, you know, is significant enough to improve on the next trade. But that was just one thing that needs fixed. Another thing is LYC. Now this one also came down to a lack of preparation, because what I saw was this, basically. It's trading intraday. I saw the price action from the open, from previous close, and saw that it hit -5% up to -3.5%. The ETF was somewhere around -2, maybe -1.8 or something like that from memory. I was more interested in uranium because that one is the one that moved the most out of copper, uranium, lithium, and rare earths. So, you know, that was kind of my plan, was to trade uranium, but that didn't end up working out. So what I didn't take into consideration, even though I saw it here at VWAP, thanks Hot Sauce for calling it out, it was tempting to take, but I was like, okay, -3.5%, where's this going to go? Is it just going to fuck around? Is it going to go sideways? Is it going to, who knows, break to the upside? Like, I had no plan for it, and I didn't take into consideration that the fact that it rallied quite a lot yesterday. That's a 7% move yesterday, and that definitely impacts the trading for today. Even though it's sold down so much relative to the ETF, it also rallied a little bit excessively yesterday, so that explains that price action. So a little bit of lack of preparation there, but otherwise, very happy with the outcome of today, and I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Peace.